Welcome back, folks. Big night in the NHL last night. I'm not sure it's actually getting enough respect that it deserves, because since 2020, do you know what two teams have been to the Western Conference Final every single year for the past 6 years?
The Edmonton Oilers.
Dallas and Edmonton.
Yeah.
At least one of them. Hasn't been that matchup every year, but at least one of them has been to the Western Conference Final every year.
Has it been the same matchup for the last 3 years, though, or only 2 years?
2 or 3. I don't know. Might have been Vegas might have been in there 3 years ago. But nonetheless, these two have been the kingpin of the Western Conference Final. And the fact that both of them get knocked out in the first round is super significant. I'll just give you guys a quick layup of what we're going to run through here. I want to start with talking about that and touching on Minnie and Anaheim, because everyone wants to talk about the Oilers and Dallas and how they failed, but nobody's really talking about how impressive Minnie and Anaheim have been. After that, we'll get into the Oilers, the dissection of death, and the dissection of death with Dallas. Then we'll go over the 3 series that are remaining, which is Montreal, Tampa, Boston, Buffalo, and Utah, Vegas, all hindering on a Game 6. And then we'll go over some round 2 predictions, because there already are some set in motion. And then we'll end off with Collins. So let's start with Anaheim. What have you seen? I got to crack a beer.
What did I see with Anaheim the whole series?
Yeah, in general. How do you see them right now versus what your initial expectations were for them? How has that changed in your mind?
Well, I did think that I thought the Oil were going to definitely have a better showing. I do think, though, that the Ducks are super strong offensively, and they've been fucking lighting up all year. But I thought that the goaltending for them, because it's kind of like an Edmonton situation, but not really. I feel like Anaheim does have better goaltending. I just thought that maybe
shitty first round, though.
Yeah.
He played not good.
Yeah.
Like
I
most
think
of that series.
On one
His
of the
best game was probably that last game.
Yeah. On one of the shows I was watching, or a clip I saw or something, it said that Dostal was like the worst goalie for stats up until maybe last night it changed. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised you, of all people, didn't think or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but
I went back and forth.
I thought with how you've been talking about the Ducks for the last year and a half, you were kind of the Ducks were your team maybe in that series.
For them to make playoffs, I had them making playoffs. I was pretty damn sure that they would. The thing that I didn't anticipate was the Oilers dropping off a cliff, because did you take the Oilers in the first round, or did you take the Ducks? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago I told you I thought this was going to be the year that maybe the Oil could win the Stanley Cup.
But did you come out and actually say that I'm taking the Ducks in X games?
Well, I think on the last podcast, I think I said I thought the Ducks were going to win, but I did think.
But you didn't have a solidified pick before it started?
I mean, I did think, I thought.
Did you do an NHL bracket?
I didn't do a bracket.
Okay.
Didn't have time.
Well, I went back and forth. I ended up going with the Oil just out of respect for what they've done over the last, 6 years. I found it very hard to believe that no matter how good the Ducks are and how much potential they've got, I didn't see them knocking off the Oil, because they've handled round 1 so well. But now it starts, it makes me think they had been playing the same team in round 1 every year, right? LA for what? 3-4 years in a row?
Yeah.
Anaheim is not LA. They can score goals like LA can't. They're fast like LA isn't. And the one thing that LA did have going for them against the Oil every year was their veteran presence with the Doughties and the Kopitars and all those guys.
Anaheim adding that, though.
This is why one of the things that I wanted to touch on more than anything is what a surgical job this GM has done, like the perfect blend of capable vets, experienced guys who know how to win in these situations. I'm talking Alex Killorn, Chris Kreider, John Carlson, Mikhail Granlund. How many times throughout this series did we see one of those guys step up in a big way?
Yeah.
And
Did you say
then
Kreider too, sir?
yeah.
You did?
Yeah. And I'm probably still missing guys as well.
I
They
think
got a whole
also-
boatload.
This guy's not a player, but I think you got to throw this guy into that conversation is Quenneville. I think Quenneville is
That's what I was getting at.
yeah, I think that guy's a fucking TSN turning point.
100%. But then you've got that base with those vets who you know will step up in the big moments. But then you've also got the Cutter Gauthiers and the Carlsons and the Terrys and the young guys,
Seneca.
Seneca coming up and doing their part, but not all of the weight is on them. You know what I mean? Like it's the perfect fucking blend, balance, whatever you want to call it. This is what every team should do, in my opinion, right when they're on the cusp of like, you've been in a rebuild and the majority of your team is young. Right when you're right there on the cusp, like I'm talking to San Jose, Chicago, this is what all teams should do. You got to acquire the Granlunds, the Kreiders, the Carlsons, the Killorns. Like you bring just, a handful of those guys in.
Yeah, if you do it right.
Not only, though, does it change what's possible, not just for the season, but making the playoffs and upsetting a team that's been to the Western Conference Final and Stanley Cup Final the last 2 years, but who knows what else they can do? Like, I don't know. It's kind of like an untested project. I don't know if there's a GM out there who is, in my opinion, brilliantly executed, like in that weird stage between rebuild and starting to become competitive. I think that, who is the GM? Verbeek?
Yeah.
I think it's fucking excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Bon appetit.
I think it is.
Whatever.
I think the way that they did it is really good. The only thing that can like kind of bite them in the ass, I feel like, and is where teams fuck themselves, is when they like oversign those veterans. Or veterans.
That's why you got to be careful.
Or they oversign them for like max term on like 7 years.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Again, I'm not a big contract guy, so I'm not even exactly sure what all of these guys are signed to, but I'm just saying, like, you have this great base of rooks. Like, they're all young. They're all ready to go. This round one would not have gone the same if they didn't have the vets in the room. Because if the young guys aren't going, you can lean on the vets to do it. And when the vets aren't doing it, the young guys are doing it. Like, it was even keel, split right down the middle as far as production went. So I think Anaheim's seriously dangerous now. And if we look at the other side of who's going to come out of this series between Vegas and Utah, I don't think any of them are ready for Anaheim, in my opinion now, just from watching this series. Like, I think Utah is super streaky. I think they're scary. Utah is kind of an anomaly where they kind of like will have no momentum going for them in a game, and they'll just score out of nowhere. Like, it's kind of anomalous how that happens. And then Vegas is just a hard, heavy team. It's going to be a tough game. But I really think Anaheim should make it to the Western Conference Final, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it should be, with how the goaltending is in the Vegas-Utah series, I think it will be super similar to the Edmonton-Anaheim series, where I feel like it's weak goaltending on both sides, in a sense, unless like Dostal kind of fucking picks it or gets it together.
Well, look, are you saying Utah and Vegas has been the same?
I'm saying Utah and Vegas is kind of like...
Well, it kind of has, because
like
Vejmelka hasn't been that great. Carter Hart's had some brutal
games. But I'm saying, like, is what I was going to say, sorry.
He's had good moments, though, as well.
I think that maybe, depending on who comes out of it, I do think it's going to be similar series to Anaheim-Edmonton, and I want to say maybe my hot take for now, whoever they're going to play, I think Anaheim in 6. Again.
Whether it's Utah or Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, I'm leaning towards that. I don't know how many games it's going to be. I just think that regardless of who they play, I think if it's Utah, they can probably win in 6. I think if it's Vegas, it might go 7. But regardless, super, super impressed with Anaheim. I just wanted to touch on that because everybody's talking about how disastrous it is for the losers. Nobody's really talking about the winners. And one last thing I do just want to say is that series, even though it went 6 games, it didn't really feel close. Like, even the games that Edmonton won, did you feel like Edmonton was dominating at any point during that series at all? Because I felt like Anaheim was basically dominating the entire series. Every game I watched, even the games that Edmonton won, maybe besides game 1, but even that was pretty jumpy back and forth. I felt like Anaheim had full control the entire time.
Yeah, no,
What do you think?
It didn't.
Like, you know how like in
I mean,
series
well, no,
past,
sorry,
like where
maybe
Edmonton would
game-
play Vegas and Edmonton would just have like 2 games in a row.
Well,
where
game
they'd come
5.
out and
No, hey,
score
game
6
5.
goals and just don't, okay, you're right. That game,
Game
no, you're
5,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And we bet on that one as well, actually.
Yeah,
bet
and
on
then
Edmonton
what
that
about
game.
last Friday's game? Like when we had,
No, game 5 was the only.
did we take Edmonton or Anaheim?
Game 5 we took Edmonton.
No,
A convincing win.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that last Friday then?
I don't know what it was, but we took Edmonton. That was the only
The night we
convincing
took
win.
Montreal and we won on Montreal, and then we sprinkled some money on the Ducks. or
I don't know.
something
What are
like
you
that.
getting at though with this?
I don't know. I was trying to think if there was like, I think there was. I mean, the series will say that Edmonton had 2 good games because the score was.
Well, look,
4-2.
game 1 you can classify as a good game, I suppose, but like I bet on Edmonton game 1. I was not feeling good about that. I didn't feel like they had dominant control. What I mean is, like, do you remember when they played Vegas in 2023 in round 1 or 2, and they just came out 2 games and completely mopped the floor with them? Like, put up big numbers. Vegas couldn't compete. It was just
Yeah.
convincing wins. Even in the Cup final against Florida. Remember when they beat Florida like 7-0?
Yeah.
Like, they just turn it on and come out and rampage. And I guess the closest example of that we got was game 5. But even that wasn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't enough for me.
I don't know. Do
I
you
thought
wanna-
Anaheim.
Do you want to move on or do you want?
Yeah,
to
I
keep
do.
talking about it?
No, I want
just
to move on.
The one thing I did
because we're
wanna-
gonna go back to Edmonton.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about Edmonton negatives.
Okay.
I wanted that to
Okay.
focus on
Okay,
Anaheim
sounds good.
positives.
Okay.
Now I want to get to mini positives.
Okay.
So just to go with that where you want.
Yeah, I think Minnesota. I think Quinn Hughes is the X factor for really getting these guys out of their slump since 2015 or
Round
something.
1 slump. Yep.
I mean, he got 2 goals yesterday.
He's good, man. He's good at hockey.
The broadcast was kind of insinuating that Quinn Hughes purposely shot that puck off Lyubushkin.
Well, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, I just mean
Yeah.
that's
It looked like he did.
it's crazy.
Didn't look like he missed.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to do
that's
that.
some high IQ shit.
I don't know if he wanted to hit Lyubushkin, but he just saw a crowd in front of the net and
Yeah.
was like, "Fuck it, like let's."
So
do
I
this."
mean, that's
yeah, because you know
that's
what's
only what
funny?
the best defenseman
on that
can do.
play, he had a moment where the left side of the net was pretty open. Like if he decided to do a quick release,
Yeah.
like he probably could have scored. And I was kind of wondering, like, why is this guy taking so much fucking time with this?
Yeah.
Like he let the goalie
Yeah.
reposition, and then he did that, and I was like, I was pissed off because we had Dallas, but I mean, brilliant play. But really, I just want to get you guys know I've been calling Dallas frauds all year. I still thought that they would have been able to. When I call Dallas frauds, I'm talking about in terms of Stanley Cup contention. They're frauds. That doesn't mean that I think that they're round 1 or round 2 frauds. In fact, they're round 1 and round 2 and round 3 merchants for the most part. But
I think for them this year it was just unfortunate that they had to play Minnesota in the first round with the way that the playoff seeding works.
This is what I'm getting at. Dallas is frauds in terms of playing serious teams. Anytime Dallas has a serious matchup, they always fall short, in my opinion. And that's because, in my opinion, I don't think the guys on that roster have cores built to really win like other teams in this league. Even Edmonton is an example of a team that's, mopped the floor with Dallas for the past 2 years in the conference final. I just didn't have belief in them. That being said, I had belief in them to at least force Game 7. That ended up being the wrong call. But really, it's Billy Guerin who deserves a lot of respect because I can't imagine how much pressure it is and how, overwhelming it must be to really make a move like that and pick up Quinn, because you're kind of turning, you're taking a good chunk of like your core and what you're building around in the future of Minnesota, and you're dishing it all out for Quinn Hughes right now. And that's a big risk, because if you do end up losing to Dallas, you look like a fucking idiot. But it paid off. And now they get past round 1. Now they have more mojo than they have since when? 2015?
I
2016, whenever it is.
Or something.
And now, dude, who knows what could happen? But you know what? In my book, it's already a success for Billy. Like, Billy can relax. He did something that nobody in Minnesota has been able to do in the last
Here's a question.
10 years or so. I just think he deserves a lot of respect because not a lot of GMs have the balls to do that.
No, for sure.
He did it. It's paid off so far, and I wish more GMs would do that.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is do you think what's worse? What's worse? Fucking being a team like. I think this only applies to like these series, the Edmonton Anaheim series. I'm specifically talking about Anaheim though in this scenario. And then I'm going to put Minnesota and Dallas in the same boat because I feel like those three teams just have very high expectations. Do you think it's worse to be like the Vancouver Canucks and finish last place in the fucking league? Or do you think it's worse to be one of those three teams and get eliminated in the first round? What's fucking worse?
Well, for me, I would always make playoffs, 100%.
But like, don't you think it's just...
No, 100%. That's just me, though, because I just want to compete. Like, if I'm a fan of a team, I just want to see them compete. Even if they're going to lose, even if they're Ottawa and they drop 4 in a row, I would rather that than all of what
But imagine if
Vancouver's been
Edmonton...
through for the past couple years.
Edmonton kind of... Because they, like McDavid said last night in his quote or something, he's like, we played average the whole year. We've been an average team or something, and we have average results.
Well, you're getting at something else. You're getting at like what Florida's doing, which you could chalk up to strategy maybe, where if you want to throw away a year in order to, get a super talented kid
I'm not
for
necessarily
basically
saying
no
super
salary,
talented. I just mean
that
like
could help you compete right away.
I just think
maybe, but
where Edmonton's at, I think getting some sort of prospect or like they have nothing. They got nothing. And I mean, you want to talk about this later.
That's fine. We'll just end the Minnesota combo there. We're both bullish on Minnesota, and we're going to talk about their next round matchup later on in the show. So let's just get right into dissecting the death of Edmonton and dissecting the death of Dallas, and we can start on Edmonton.
Can I start off?
Yeah, go.
I think the death of Edmonton was McDavid signing a team-friendly deal this year, and the day after, or maybe the fucking same day, they signed Jake Wallman to a 7x7.
Was it 7x7?
Something crazy like that. And it's like, to me, it's like you already have Darnell Nurse.
I hope
who's
that's
making,
not true.
It's true. You got Darnell Nurse that's making 10?
9.
9?
9.
So to me, and I was having this conversation with Mark Gautreau, and he said he kind of was the one who like said that, but we've talked about this multiple times about the Jake Wallman thing, that was the death of them. Because to me, it's like, think about that $7 million. I don't think Jake Wallman is that much of an X factor or game changer where he's
not 7x7, maybe 7x2.
But think about what they could have done instead of giving that capital to Wallman.
Well, I mean,
and like what they could have done.
Defenseman that can
they could have
produce.
got a $7 million goalie. A $7 million goalie is a very good goalie.
Yeah, the problem is their blue line's also fucked. Like they kind of need Wallman. If they're going to try to win a cup, that you also need Wallman. Like he's a valuable defenseman that can produce. Signing him $7 million times 7 years is fucking insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, 7x2 would be, understandable.
Another person maybe that I think is a contributing factor to the death of Edmonton is them just, I think, getting rid of Troy Stetcher on waivers or some shit. Like,
yeah, that was a miss, 100%.
Would hear all the time on.
I would rather have Stetcher in the lineup than Emberson. No disrespect to Emberson, but I just love Stetch.
But yeah,
he's done great for Vancouver in the playoffs in the past.
Watching Real Kipper and Bourne every fucking day, and they do their Leaf
that's all
hour,
they fucking talk about.
They would talk about how much Troy Stetcher is like a fucking heart and soul guy.
It's also super easy to stand out on a team that has the pulse of, a fucking broken toaster like the Leafs do. But, I mean, he is built for playoffs, 100%. Like, he elevates his game. He gets better. He wants it. Like, he's one of those guys that just wants it.
2 seconds. Just want to give some stick taps to Sammy McKee right now. If you want to look at the TV, looks like Nick Kyprios is out of office, and he's got the He's on the main
big
stage.
seat. I've never
He's
seen
on the
that.
big
Do
seat.
they do that often?
They do that sometimes.
I've never seen him in that seat.
So yeah,
He looks good in that seat.
Shout out Sammy.
No disrespect
him
to
and
Kipper,
Justin.
but he looks good there.
But yeah, I think that, and then I think the goaltending. I think honestly, I don't think
That doesn't even need to be said, bro. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but I think I don't think Skinner was the problem in the Pittsburgh series. Like I think
Well, he didn't help. He wasn't great.
wasn't great, but like those games that he was in, it wasn't like so obvious that he was the guy.
I know. I'm just saying, but
guy.
like if you rank all the goalies in the playoffs, like from all 16 teams, Skinner, Ingram, Vejmelka, Dostal, and even I would have Dostal up in a higher echelon based off of what he typically is capable of.
Yeah.
But those are the worst goalies in the playoffs.
What you did say, and I know we're jumping around right now, but I think Shelov's definitely did come in and fucking play really well for like what the situation he was in.
Well, I would have fucking started him, but that's another conversation.
Yeah.
The thing with Edmonton is like, well, let me ask you this. Like, do you think they get past round 1 next year? Do you think they even make playoffs next year? Do you think this is a total drop off the cliff? What do you think?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot here, Cooge, because this is gonna live on the internet. But I'm gonna.
So what? Who cares? I
You know
get
what?
shit
I'm
wrong
gonna-
all the time. I don't gotta tell you.
This guy
guys
gets
that.
shit wrong all the time. Whitney made himself look like an idiot. I'm gonna say next year Edmonton misses playoffs.
Yeah, see, I don't think so.
I think this is no, because who knows what's gonna happen.
I think as long as McDavid's on the team, they're not gonna miss playoffs.
But I thought it.
You also got to remember how fucking weak the Pacific is. But what I also got to think about is San Jose probably next year is going to be kind of nasty.
And maybe
Anaheim's
Chicago.
gonna
I
be
know
a
Chicago's
lock.
not in the
It's
in the
central.
Pacific, but I just mean in the West.
Yeah.
And that might cause
But
some
if
commotion
you got
too.
if you got 5 teams in the Central, then
Like I personally
three
think
from the
this
Pacific
off season, I've been saying this for years in my head. I think this will be the off season where the Chicago Blackhawks finally start to get some maybe some big. There's not even actually a lot of free agents this year, I don't think, but they're gonna start getting some bigger players to come support Bedard.
Well, they should start doing what Anaheim did. That's what they should start implementing. Both
I don't know if
San
they're there
Jose
yet, but
and Chicago should start slowly trying to do exactly what Anaheim did.
Yeah.
As far as the incorporating the vets. But I think we can chalk up the death of Edmonton. Or maybe not the death, but the paralysis of Edmonton. Because they're not dead, but they're just kind of stuck in this position. I think when you're paying Nurse $9 million, that puts you in a tight spot. I think when you consistently can't find a goalie, not saying that Ingram's bad because Ingram did have a good game, but you really need someone who's kind of a showstopper, especially now with how good players are and how, you run into a team like Anaheim who could score on will. You're kind of fucked if you don't have a goalie who's, ready to rock and roll in that sense. So, I mean, I feel stupid even saying this because everybody knows it.
Yeah,
like,
so
obviously,
here,
the
I
Nurse
just wanna
contract,
fact
the
check it,
lack
though.
of goaltending, and
Jake Wallman is a 7x7, so it's a 7-year, $49 million deal. He's 30 years old right now, which means it'll expire at the age of 37. Jake
see,
Wallman.
I don't understand why that.
I guess that's what if you hit the gritty a couple times and on a shootout or a penalty shot, you get 7
I
mil.
don't get it. What's his all-time points in a single season? There's no way he's ever collected more than 40 points in a season. Look it up real quick. Go hit DB.
Oh, someone just signed an extension. Elliot Friedman.
No, you're on the wrong thing. You got to go to DB, hockey DB.
His highest points is 32 points
There you go. That's fucked to me.
on San Jose.
$7 million is fucked to me for 7 years. But all in all, folks, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what to say anymore. I'll say this because I replied to a comment to somebody. I still do believe that McDavid wants to win a cup in Edmonton.
Here, this is it's not breaking news, but Dylan Holloway just signed a 5-year deal, $7.75 million.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes more sense than the Wallman thing. But I was just saying, like, I still think still think McDavid wants to win in Edmonton, and I think he's gonna try, and I still think it's possible. But the two big problems that you need to solve, not saying that Nurse is bad, but $9 million is just too much for him. You need to find a way to get that off your books. The Wallman thing scares the shit out of me, but him at $7 million, I think I would like better than Nurse at $9 million. And then you just need to find a way to get a goalie who's actually worth his salt.
I think
some way. You gotta figure it out.
For them to do, I think, at this point now is maybe I don't think they're not going to move from Nuge because that guy's been
his contract's great though too. You wouldn't.
Great, but
he gets paid like 4.5.
No, I know, but maybe they have to.
Same with Hyman.
They got to get rid of Hyman, or they got to get rid of these guys.
That's 4.5. You can't.
No, I know, but I just mean to get rid of them and then to get some. Maybe you get because that actually has those players have a lot of value because of their contracts. To a team that's maybe.
No, I wouldn't do that. I think if you get rid of Nuge or Hyman.
I'm just saying this because I know what Vancouver has. I'm just saying
they're going to drop.
No, but I'm just saying, imagine they traded Hyman or Nuge to Vancouver. I'm just saying for
what?
They get a bunch. They get 4 good prospects or four
First of all,
younger
Vancouver.
Players.
If Vancouver's not fucking retarded, they wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying.
What the hell is the use of Nuge or Hyman in Vancouver
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying because I know that Vancouver has a lot of prospects. I'm saying I think they could trade a player like those two guys, and they could get kind of like what the Quinn Hughes thing was.
I'm just saying 4. It's gonna take a real sensei because look, we're not gonna be able to answer this on a podcast. We're not, we're not working GM roles, but I'd like to believe that there's somebody out there who does this for a living who can, figure this out, because it's a fucking shame to the hockey world that it has to be this way. McDavid should have won a cup right now. I saw a stat the other day. The last time that it was 10 iconic players, and it was the last time these 10 players won a Stanley Cup in their careers. Gretzky was 27, Sid was 29, Lemieux 20s. Long story short, it's a bunch of iconic names, and they're all in their 20s.
Getting into that.
McDavid's going to be 30 next year.
Yeah.
McDavid's going to be 30 next year. The only guy who was on that list who won a cup in his 30s, it was 10 iconic players. Guess who it was?
Ovi.
Yeah, 32. So he could be like an Ovi, but still, I mean,
that team though just seems so broken.
Well, it is. It's like half. It's half the recipe. Yeah. It's you're so close, but it's not quite, and you can't quite get it done with what you got. But who knows? You hire a sensei. If you hire me for the gig, I'll do my best. I'll figure out a way. Tell you what, I'll get you a goalie. That's for sure. I don't know if it'll work, but I will do it. I'll get you a goalie, and I'll fix that blue line if you hire me. But let's move on now.
Enough of that.
Oh, we got to talk about we got to dissect the death of Dallas too, real quick. Even though we kind of did touch on that.
To me, I don't know Dallas.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I did for Edmonton. Do you think that they will get back to the first round next year?
They're arguably, not even arguably, they're just clearly a way better team than Edmonton is.
Okay, so you have no doubt that they're going to be back next year. They're not falling off drastically.
No, I think, like I said, the reason it's just unfortunate that the way the playoff structure plays out for them. I think they got the toughest.
Okay, well, what do you think they need to do to evolve past? Well, I was going to say the conference final, but I guess now the first round. If you run into a competitive team in the West, like Minnesota, do you believe in the core? Do you like Duchesne? Do you like Robo? Do you like Johnston? Do you like?
I don't.
Rantanen? Do you like Heiskanen? Are these names enough to
be honest,
compete with the best in the NHL?
Rantanen, this series kind of didn't seem like he was doing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I was pretty fucking pissed off watching that game, watching Rantanen until he blew the wheels off whoever the fuck, or Spurgeon behind the net. Yeah. Did you see that hit?
Yeah.
But the problem with that
is... He turns into a bit of a fucking...
But where was that early in the series? We could have used that game 1. We could have used that at the start of the game in game 6. There's not really any use of that when you're, down by 1 with 3 minutes to go. It's a little late for that, bro.
No, I don't know.
Same thing with Robo. You see Robo save the overtime, or not the overtime, the empty net goal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the fuck was that battle all game long?
No, I know.
Because
But
I
hey,
hadn't seen
Robo,
him. All I saw
that
from
guy
Robo,
was
look,
really good the whole series.
don't get me wrong. Robo and Duchesne put up points. When
And
they got
Johnson.
room, Johnson's another level.
Yeah.
I'm not including Johnson in this category. Johnson's in his own category.
Yeah.
Johnson's a complete playoff gamer for me. Robo and Duchesne, and again, folks, I don't like criticizing guys. I'm sitting on the couch drinking beer. What the fuck do I know? But I'm just saying, what it seems like to me is these guys are super capable of producing, highly, highly skilled players, but I would have loved to have seen Robo winning battles in that first and second period. Like I saw him win that battle, saving that empty netter. Because I watched him lose. I don't even know. I lost track. He was losing every fucking battle.
Yeah.
Rantanen is out there. Reminded me of Geno Malkin. The same energy. Just kind of like, I'm going to try to make a play, but like, no urgency.
Yeah.
Like he's just whatever. Like I'm Miko doing his thing.
Yeah.
And then Duchesne, you guys already know the turnovers were driving me nuts. He works hard, but the fucking turnovers, like you can't be making turnovers like that.
If there's one guy maybe that I feel like Dallas could move on from, it would be Duchesne. Just because I don't think he's going to make or break their success next year. And I feel like he is a really good player.
Well, if I was Dallas, and I'm not saying this is the right move, you folks know how much I've gotten wrong lately, but I would be looking to move. Look, similar to Billy G, you need to make moves if you want to do something serious.
Are you going to say trade Heiskanen or some shit?
Not necessarily Heiskanen. I think Heiskanen does a lot of good stuff. I'd be looking at moving Robo. I'd be looking at moving Duchesne.
What about Lindell?
I'd be open to moving Rantanen. That wouldn't be my first choice. Lindell, I think, is solid. I think that blue line, for the most part, is actually pretty fucking solid. I don't think the blue line's the issue.
Honestly, I think they need to fucking sign Myers to a 7x7. Give him the Wallman treatment.
You're joking, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the blue line is the issue. I think the issue is their gamers, their guys who are supposed to be gamers are just not on the level of other teams' gamers. Even fucking Kaprizov last night, I got a whole new respect for him after watching him. He's not big. What is he? 5'11", 5'10", maybe 175, fucking battling. Like working hard. You could see that he wanted it.
Taking a Rantanen cross.
Robo's 6'3", 200 pounds. He did not have any battle in his game until he knew that he needed to save a goal. So that's just kind of why I never saw Dallas as a serious competitor in terms of serious teams in the league. And it ended up turning out that way. I just feel fucking like an idiot for betting on them, thinking that they'd force Game 7. But hey, that's just props to Minnie. You got anything else on Dal, or you want to move on?
No, I'm down to move on.
Okay, what we got next? 3 series is left, so you can take this anywhere you want. Habs, Tampa, Buffalo, Boston, VGK, Utah. They all play tonight. You think all the games are going to end tonight? Your predictions are probably worth more salt than mine right now.
Yeah, I think. I said yesterday, I think home ice.
So you think Habs, Buffalo, and Vegas are going to win tonight?
Well, I don't know. The only one that I could see maybe not, because I think home ice in Game 6 specifically is very, very crucial, or like it's a fucking game changer.
You know what? After last night, I would concur.
Yeah.
It does seem that way.
And Game 6 in general is just a very important game because I feel like it can really shift the momentum, even if for some reason a team like Boston tonight can get a win because they're playing at home tonight.
Well, look, if you're smart, you're playing Game 6 like it's a Game 7 if you're that team
but
that
I just
still has the Game 7.
What I'm trying to say, though, is like if Boston
I'm
wins
agreeing
tonight,
with you.
If Boston wins tonight at home,
if Boston wins tonight, I think they win the series.
It's going to be one of those things where it's like, holy fuck.
I just don't think that's possible. Here's the thing about Boston, though. They just linger. Like, you guys got to admit, if there's any Boston fans watching this, by far the worst roster in the playoffs. And that should not upset you. That should make you feel proud. That it's so impressive that a roster as garbage as this has done as much damage as they've done. And if they end up winning tonight, I'll bet whatever bankroll we got left on them winning Game 7. I don't think they're going to win tonight. I think Buffalo's going to come out like a fucking saber with the fucking red flag. What do they do? Like at the rodeo, you know? The red circle, the bull. That's what I think is going to happen tonight with Buffalo. But it's super impressive. Like people, you see the comments. People always say, "Oh, bro hates Boston." Bro does not hate Boston. Bro is just, that's my opinion. I don't think they deserve. No, that's not the right word.
Well,
I
I'll be
don't
honest,
think
I
the
fucking hate
roster.
Boston.
I don't think the roster quality is anything compared to all the other rosters. But that just goes to show how impressive the coaching's been, how impressive the team play's been, and just, all that together, which is really the best parts of hockey, in my opinion. It's beautiful to see this happen. I don't think that they're going to get it done because the roster is not good.
I mean, to answer your question again, I think the Habs, I'm feeling really confident on the Habs. Like, that's the team to me that I feel like I understand the most out of this series. When I was watching, I saw a clip of the Empty Netters guys talking about, he was like questioning, Dan.
Questioning who?
Chris was questioning Dan
about his Habs conviction?
No, just about asking how long Montreal was leading the series in Game 1, how much was Montreal leading the game in Game 2, blah, blah. And I think there's only been one game that they said.
Wait, so Chris was being skeptical of Dan?
No, Chris was just asking Dan if he knew who was like leading the games by how many minutes Montreal was leading Game 1.
He was just asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is where I'm going with this is that there's only been one game so far that Tampa Bay's been leading in the series.
Yeah, which not the recent game, but the one before that, right?
Game 4?
Yeah, Game 4. Yeah.
And like the Habs, like watching those games, I don't know if you're watching them as dialed as I am, but like they're
the Habs,
they're playing really well.
Yeah, I don't get
Like
it.
they're getting the lucky bounces. They're doing all the right shit.
How about Gallagher coming back, eh?
Gallagher
Scoring
coming
right
back.
away.
Yeah.
Who'd they take out?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know. But
Let me look that up.
Montreal, to me, they're looking unreal. And to me, also, the fact that Suzuki hasn't really got going, like their top line hasn't done what they're typically doing yet.
Yeah.
And to me, you've
Well,
seen
that's what
this
makes
in
it
the,
so impressive,
You've seen
though.
this in the past where like good teams, their other depth players, they provide when the top guys aren't coming, and then they make it to round 2, and guess what? Then the depth guys maybe cool it down a bit, and then the fucking big dogs step up.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who they took out.
I'm just gonna say this because I'm a Canucks guy. Back in the Canucks run, there was a thing where it was like I think Kessler he got blanked in the first round against like Chicago or something, and then they played Nashville round 2. I think that year, I think it was and then Kessler got some big goals and big points for us.
Yeah. Dude, if you look at
it's all
this, oh God, nastiest top 12 has to be. Look at these lines.
I love their defense, dude. I love their
these might be new
too.
lines. I don't know. I didn't watch the lines close enough last game, but line 1 is Caulfield, Suzuki, Anderson. Fucking brilliancy from Marty there. Line 2 is Slav, Evans, Demidov. That's beautiful. Line 3 is Newhook, Danault, Gallagher. And then you got line 4. Maybe your best. Been your best line at times. Bolduc, Doc, Texier. Okay, so they got Kapanen out. That's who's out for Gally.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He kind of... Kapanen, to me, didn't seem like he was doing anything
No,
bad,
I didn't notice him.
But I didn't notice him, so I feel like that's a...
I'm telling you guys right now, that is... I'm not saying Montreal's going to win the cup, but I will say this right now. That is bar none the sauciest 4-line depth in the playoffs right there. That's fucking incredible. Incredible depth.
No, yeah. To me, I think... And I mean, hey, you said it too. You said this. I didn't say it. But you did say that whoever gets out of this series
wins the East.
Is going to the Stanley Cup
100%. Dude, you know who's in for a rude fucking awakening? And we're just going to jump ahead. Carolina. Because Carolina's going to blow the wheels off Philly. I'm hoping Philly gets... Okay, well, look, I'll just say this real quick.
To be honest,
Carolina,
we actually
Philly
can't say
preview.
shit about
Well, just listen.
Philly.
Carolina Philly preview. Game 1 for Philly is Game 7. If they can win Game 1, you got to bring all your juice in Game 1. Because if you lose Game 1, I think you're getting swept. If you can find a way to grind them down and beat them in Game 1, that's going to be a psychological impact. It's going to be tough for an egotistical team like Carolina to deal with. That's your only chance. You're not coming back in this series. You got to hit them heavy. You got to hit them fast. But what I was saying, assuming that what should logically happen is Carolina blows through them, buddy, that's going to be a rude awakening going from the Pittsburgh or going Ottawa, Philly to Montreal.
Yeah.
That's going to be a rude awakening.
They definitely need to face adversity because they're going to...
Oh, buddy, they're going to... I don't even know. It could be...
But hey,
by that time, if it actually guys, you know I have love for Philly. I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does go worst case scenario for Philly and Carolina mops the floor with them 4-0, dude, Montreal could come out and win 6-0 in Game 1. Like, because they're playing a team that has not, had engines firing like that.
I mean, another thing, too, is
a big problem
I don't know, too, if that almost... Actually, fuck. It's going to be a 1 week... They've been off for a week because they swept fucking Ottawa.
Yeah.
So, is a 1 week break... You could arguably say that maybe the 1 week break is actually a momentum killer. Maybe it's gonna fuck with Carolina a bit. I feel like
the thing is,
I don't about momentum and riding the fucking highs.
It is, but I don't like the generalizations with that because I think every single individual sees it differently. I bet there's guys on the team who are probably gonna come out worse, and there's guys on the team who are probably gonna come out better.
No,
that's
sure.
the way that I see it. I don't see it as a whole team thing. It all completely fucks
what
the team.
What are the odds you think?
It's all up to every individual. Stank might go cold. You know what I mean?
What are the odds?
But then Halsey might heat up and go crazier than he even was.
Yeah.
Or somebody who hasn't done much, I don't know how much Aho did, but it kind of felt like line 2
he got that one,
was dominating.
I know he got one big goal
But I'm just saying, you can see new guys elevate, because it's
yeah,
scratched away. You got a week off. I'm sure they got a decent booze in,
yeah,
reset. So, yeah,
fucking Rod was fucking spanking them.
Well, I'm just saying. So I think so. Should we bet Montreal tonight then, or what? Because I'm telling you, I'm looking at this depth in it. It's
I'm guessing a lot
beautiful.
of the few people that do watch this podcast, they're watching the content. I just want to let you know, I've said this on other ones, Kuj and I, we're business partners. We're partners. We're pretty much a married couple. So I have to support this guy, and we ride together on a lot of things. This guy's fucking picks, I agree with him a lot of the time. Yesterday was bad. The only one I can disagree on...
You're about to air me out to dry here, bud. You got a rude awakening coming.
The only thing that I disagreed with yesterday is I thought Minnesota. But I fully was thinking that
you
fucking
texted
Edmonton,
me in the morning saying...
no, because
whatever you want to pick.
I had to do that because I needed to fucking
what
get
do you
the
mean?
vibes
You
straight.
have the opportunity to
so is what I'm saying,
not a good pick.
No, so what I'm saying is that...
And hey, you didn't have a problem with it when I was fucking cleaning up the night before.
No, I know. Hey, but as what I'm saying is based on the day when you put it out on the record to the internet, I think we might have to go against everything you originally said just because the universe...
Well, I didn't start putting out my picks out there so blatantly like that. I don't usually do that. I don't usually
say,
but
I'm just saying.
I'm betting on this.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah. But you did say in that video that Tampa was going to go to 7. You thought...
I can't miss every call, right?
Well, I think you might.
I don't think I can miss everyone.
I think you might. So what I'm saying is, yeah, we might have to. Or maybe we wait for the Montreal game to get going, and then we see how it's going.
Well, I do like that better. That's how we That's how we made a bunch of money on the Utah game. It's way easier because you see how the game goes and you can kind of tell who's going to score next. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
we're getting unstructured here. VGK Utah. Who you got? Just quick. So we haven't.
I don't know. I'm gonna say today. Fucking.
All I wanted to say about Utah is what I said earlier.
It's going to. Is it going
sneaky.
to Utah or is it going to Vegas?
Super slithery.
Is it in?
This is Utah. Yeah, this is Utah tonight, I think.
I don't know, man.
Super slithery, though. Like, Utah will just be out, and, like, I'll think they'll be dead, and then they'll just score on the most random situation. So, I don't know. I'm leaning Vegas because, you know, they look like a tiresome group to play, but I don't know. Utah could shock you. I really don't know, though. I don't have anything there. So we went over the Carolina-Philly round 2. Really, all we got left to talk about before we get to the call-ins is Colorado-Minnesota. And I got to take a piss bad right now, so I'll be right back. Sorry, folks. We will
resume.
Intervene for this commercial. Okay, let's rock and roll.
You take it away.
Back to Colorado, Minnesota. It's basically the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, another, to me, crazy that's the second round. Like, the fact that we're getting kind of...
This is how they want it. I mean, hey, if you win that round, you should. If you win that I mean, I don't know. It works both ways. Because if you win that round, logic would say you should be able to win the cup because you haven't had a matchup that tough, theoretically. But also... you're probably more banged up going through, two tough battles like that.
It's crazy
than
how
the other teams.
The Ducks and those teams that were all like literally not fighting for a playoff spot to the last second, but I mean, in a sense they were. Like, that playoff, those matchups didn't get set till the second last day of the season or some shit. It's crazy to me that like those guys are kind of being, in a sense, rewarded with an easier path. And it's like you had Colorado, you had Dallas, Minnesota. All those teams were like the top 5 teams in the league the whole year.
It's the way Gary wants it, bud. It's just the way he wants it.
It's just crazy.
It's the way he wants it. I don't like it. I'm not sure I agree with it. I used to love it when it was 1v8, but it's the way he wants it, and
well, I think
look, you're going to have to get through these teams eventually. It is a harder path.
I think it's going to be really interesting, to say the least.
Well, I think Minnesota is going to lose, but I think it's going to be a lot. Actually, you know what? I don't know. Minnesota might fucking win.
Because, again, back to what we were saying, I'm not going to shit on the Kings.
Well, Colorado hasn't even started the playoffs yet, right? Like, they had L.A.
But, hey, give the fucking Kings a little bit of credit. It was closer than you think. It was a boring-ass series. They
tell
played
the guy
well
who
defensively.
tell the guy who bet on LA in Game 4, right?
Yeah,
it's a 5-1 loss.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
That was fucking.
But no,
I think
a
playoff series. I'm kidding, folks. It was pretty good. Like they put up.
No, but
fight.
I just mean those
that
3
one
games,
overtime game. What was that? Game 2 when I went to overtime.
Yeah,
that had me thinking, but that was the closest they got.
But yeah,
this is why I say this is literally like L.A. Colorado is literally like Philly Carolina. If LA came out balls to the walls and somehow scraped a winning Game 1, that shocks Colorado's psyche. Yeah. It's your only shot. You got to psychologically fucking surprise the shit out of these guys, and the only way you do that is by winning Game 1.
Yeah.
So put it this way: if Philly loses Game 1, they are 100% losing the series. That's it. Sorry that I had to go back to that, but
yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
you want to get to the call-ins?
Let's get to the call-ins.
So, guys, new segment. Super stoked about this.
And
you just send in a voice memo,
and we'll
put
it up to the mic, and boom. And then maybe as we get better at this, we'll get more technologically advanced. We could have higher.
Yeah, Lars has an issue with the fact that we're just going to be holding the voice memo to the mic. I don't think there's an issue. Why don't you guys comment? But he's got an issue with it, so we'll see.
Well, here I'm gonna
see how it goes.
Here, you just kind of keep these guys entertained for 2 seconds
while we're sitting here. Jackson Lacombe looked real good last night again. And, it's funny. The announcer kept talking about how when Lacombe got signed to the Olympic team, the USA team, he was saying how most hockey fans didn't know who that was.
Here.
If you're a TFS fan, you did know who he was because we've been talking about him for a year.
I got a good one. This is, I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Pat Mahoney.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna get.
You don't
Pat.
have to say last name. Just say Pat.
I'm just saying their
Just say
username.
Okay.
Paul.
We'll just say the first name going
okay,
forward.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time for McDavid to wrap it up with Edmonton. I'm kind of comparing it. I'm comparing the situation to with Quinn Hughes. How he was being held back by the Canucks, and then when he got traded to the Wilds, well, I mean, look, they're already in round 2. So I think it's the same thing happening with McDavid, where he's being held back by his team, and he needs to get the fuck out of there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't know what team he could be good in, but it for sure is not in Edmonton.
Well, Pat, it's 100% true. The only thing that I would say, logically, it makes perfect sense. Like, if I was McDavid, I'd be getting the fuck out of there. The thing is, I'm not him. And the other thing is, Quinn Hughes is not him either. McDavid is
Canadian and has way better morals.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I would just say that, you know, when you get lumped into the conversation of all-time greats, which is where McDavid's found himself, in the Crosby, Gretzky, you know, McKinnon, the best of the best, you know, and as good as Hughes is, he's not quite in that category. That's like Quinn is like elite, and then there's like whatever you want to call the Gretzkys, the McDavids, the McKinnons, and the Crosbys.
I don't know. I think you're giving
Lemieux. No, it's different. Trust me.
But those are forwards. I feel like forwards just
that has a part to do with it.
That
has a part to do with it.
Points, though. You're thinking of points. I think in terms of defenseman,
I'm not. I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm not. You're right.
Are you gonna also say? Let's just say it was worded. Let's just say Makar was in the situation Hughes was.
Yeah, I don't have Makar in that same boat as them. I don't. For some reason.
Guess who he does have though? Probably fucking Jackson Lacombe. Jackson Lacombe. Fucking.
No, I don't. You seriously don't understand what I mean by that?
No, I do, but it's just like
you don't
to
think
me,
there's a difference.
So you just think that there's no defenseman in the league right now that you can even put in.
Not in that echelon. No. I think that Quinn. What I'm saying is, I think that Quinn deciding to leave will not have. I think you're crazy if you disagree with me. I think Quinn deciding to leave does not have as much of a taint on his legacy as if McDavid decides. Like if Quinn decides to leave and wins a cup with Minnesota, he's a hero. Okay. If McDavid decides to leave and wins a cup with
public enemy number 1.
If McDavid decides to leave and wins a cup with, let's say Ottawa, I don't think he's going to get the same amount of, like, obviously he'll get his stick taps and like there will, like he'll have had his cup, but it won't be the same. He will never be on the same level as Crosby or McKinnon or Lemieux or all these guys who got drafted to their teams and won a cup there.
So the last question.
I'm not saying it should be that way. I don't give a fuck. Okay. But I'm just saying that's the way it is.
Hypothetically,
in this business.
Hypothetically,
that's the way it is in
business.
hockey.
Hypothetically, in this business, the Edmonton Oilers fucking lose, like he said. The Oilers team's holding McDavid back.
Yeah.
Don't think too much right now. Just where do you think he's going?
Ottawa. Yeah, that's why I said Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be
McDavid.
A Canadian team. Yeah, Ottawa or Toronto, but I don't think he's going
to
I would
love
to
see
Toronto.
That guy in fucking San Jose just for like 1 year.
No, I don't think he's going to go to an American team. No. Okay. But another thing, I don't think McDavid's leaving until it's really dead in Edmonton. Like, it needs to be really fucking dead.
I think after
and
next
he needs
year,
to be in like his mid to late 30s.
When the Oilers don't make the playoffs next year,
yeah,
it's going to be the end of the world.
Well, that would be the start of it being dead. Yeah. So maybe it would happen earlier if that happened.
Okay, next question. I remember this one from earlier. I just liked this one.
Hey, boys. Just want to say I love the show all the way out here from Hawaii. Loving these playoffs, and I can't believe all your predictions have been wrong. But it has been so good. Let's go, Ducks. Keep it up. And this is the fucking show.
Hawaii. That's fucking dope. There's no question?
No,
that
was just Randon Welch.
Randon?
Shout out Randon Welch.
Thank you, Randon. That's awesome, buddy. Hawaii's fucking awesome. That's
dope.
Sick. I wish I was there right now.
Okay, here. I haven't heard this one. This guy just goes, here's my take. This guy's Hayden K.
If you're gonna give Ridley Gregg a suspension for his one punch to Walker's head while Walker was defenseless, then you gotta suspend Svechnikov for his multiple punches on Clevin while he was defenseless.
What do you think about that?
If that is true, I have not seen either one.
I put in the video. Remember the video we
If
did?
it's true that they looked the same, then I would agree with this guy. But
Well, yeah,
I
remember-
genuinely haven't seen either one. I probably have, but I've just forgotten now because it feels so
the
far
video
away.
we did on Monday, kind of recapping, like, whatever the fucking difference was last week.
Yeah.
After the clip of Nikishin getting knocked out in his hit, I included a clip of Svechnikov like feeding Clevin
On the ground?
on the ground.
Okay, I remember that.
That's what he's.
Then what he's talking about?
That's
What's-
what he's referring to. Like Svechnikov,
So what's the other play he's talking about? though?
Ridley Gregg.
Was it like that?
No,
On the
he
ground
like did
that?
it. He like uppercutted the guy or cheap shot him like
let me
in a
ask you this.
scrum in the center.
Did Ridley Gregg do it because his boy got killed? Because that's
I think-
exactly why Svej did it. The only reason Svej was giving Clevin shots to the ground was because Clevin just lights out Nikishin.
Yeah, I don't know.
So if that's the case, put it this way: if Svej did that for no reason, like it was just whatever, it was a regular hit and the play went to shit and they ended up on the ground and Svej started hitting him.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of bush league. Why are you just hitting the guy? But because his boy got absolutely turnpiked, it made complete sense. So I don't know why Greg even did this. So it's hard for me to
I don't
answer
know.
the
I mean, I
question.
do think that.
Can you pull up the play?
This guy's
Can I
onto
see the
something?
Greg play?
I can. You'd have to pull it up. We're on the voice notes, but I do think that he's onto something. I think it's a little fucked. But
We'll put it that way. If Greg did it if Greg didn't have the same reason to do it as Svej, then I don't think the penalty should be the same. If Greg just went after somebody and started hitting somebody for no reason, then no, he should get a higher penalty. But if he had the same reason that Svej did, if his boy just got taken out or some bullshit happened, then yeah, maybe it's okay. But I haven't seen the play. Sorry, bud.
Next call.
What exactly does Connor McDavid's future look like in Edmonton now that they've been kicked out of the first round of the playoffs against the Ducks, mind you? But also, Hurricanes going up against the Flyers. I believe each one of the games that we played against the Flyers during the regular season went into overtime. Could we potentially be looking at a
Seb said that
Game
too.
7 here in Raleigh, North Carolina? Or are we thinking it'll be a gentleman's sweep or even possibly a Game 6 situation?
Well, if you've been watching the show, we'll put the timestamps on so maybe some people haven't seen the earlier stuff we've been talking about. In my opinion, the only shot that Philly has is coming out heavy and winning Game 1. I think top to bottom, I mean, regular season, they all went to overtime. Yeah, that's significant, but playoffs are a different animal. And if you look at Carolina's roster and you look at what they've done in the past compared to Philly and what they've just gotten here, Carolina should wax them. That being said, if Philly can come out in Game 1 and literally play the best game that they've played all year and somehow steal a win, the only way you got a shot at even getting it to Game 6 or 7 against Carolina is if you psychologically fuck with them in Game 1 by winning. I think if Philly loses Game 1, I think it will be over in 4 or 5. But if Philly wins Game 1, then they might be able to find a way to keep that mojo going, keep Carolina off their game psychologically, and extend it to 6 or 7. What's his name?
I think that was Nick Jones or something.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, bud.
I'm just trying to. Oh, I like this one. This is a good one. This one's good.
You can answer these too. I don't have to be the only fucking guy answering these.
Were to win tonight,
We're gonna restart this. This is from Declan Foley.
if the Bruins were to win tonight, and if it wasn't Swayman playing like unbelievable, what do you think the next think it'd be because they play good defense, because the forwards finally get their heads out of their ass, or do you think it would just because Buffalo has a bad day because Swayman's been keeping them in it? I feel like where if
Declan?
Swayman's playing well, but it's not like an absolute siege. Like, who's the next
part of that team that steps up for the Bruins?
Great fucking question, Declan. And I don't think it's any individual guy. If there was 2 individual guys that you're going to need their best from tonight, it's going to be Pasta and it's going to be Swayman. Swayman's going to need to be sharp, and Pasta's just going to need to score when he gets his opportunities. But more fundamentally than that, Buffalo, I think, is going to come out raging really hard. The only way the Bruins get out of this game with a win, in my opinion, is if they really buckle down and play solid D, basically do what they've been doing all year to get here. I've said it so many times, they do not have a roster that, in my opinion, compares to the other quality of rosters in the playoffs right now. The only thing that's gotten them here is spectacular coaching and the spectacular team game and Bruins culture that they have. If they can stick to that and they can limit Buffalo as much as they can, because I think Buffalo is going to come out hot and heavy, and Pasta can capitalize when he does get that chance, and it will come, then maybe they can squeak it out 1-0, 2-1, maybe 3-2. But I think 2-1 is the sweet spot. You got to play good D and just limit them. That's my opinion on that.
Okay. I really. I'm not going to answer because I'm just trying to listen
right.
to these, and I'm just trying to keep.
I feel
flow.
weird. I'm just answering all these you don't want to answer.
Well, no, I will, but I'm trying to find the good ones.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep the flow going here.
All right.
Sorry. But here, this one I listened to. I really like this guy, Kenny Styles. Okay, this is Kenny Styles.
Sick name, Kenny.
Hey guys, Kenny Styles here. Was just thinking this morning, we always say history repeats itself, and the city of Buffalo got the Chicklets mush. They show up into town, they lose at home.
Yeah, that was
Do they
bad.
just blow this series in typical Buffalo fashion? I mean, it's a young team. They're very skilled, but they're playing against a bunch of hard-working Boston fellas. I just see them blowing this for some reason.
What do you think?
You know what, Kenny? That's not crazy. And I've thought about that too. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll tell you what. If you lose game 6, you're definitely losing game 7. Because again, it all comes back to psychological, torture. And if you drop game 6, your sticks are going to be way too tight. The pressure is going to be way too high compared to Boston, who, in my opinion, shouldn't have even fucking been here. The fact that they've even gotten you guys to game 7, they're going to be way more loose, and they'll probably end up beating you. Literally what I just answered Declan's last question as far as why Boston can win.
Yeah.
Well, the only way Buffalo can anti that is coming out as hot and fucking heavy as they possibly can. Don't do anything too tricky. Don't do anything too fancy. Get the puck behind their D. Get Alex Tuck hammering them every single time McAvoy and Lindholm and Zadorov, every time they go back there, hammer the shit out of them. Get your forwards in there hot and heavy. You got to score first, and you got to keep scoring. Like, you guys are the opposites of each other. Boston wins when it's a defensive, tight, nothing's happening sort of game. Buffalo will win when it's run and gun. So you got to make it run and gun. That's it. And, I mean, it would be nice if you could defend, but I wouldn't. That wouldn't even be a priority for me. I would just go out there and do what you guys have been doing, which is scoring, right? So that's my opinion.
Okay.
I hope that doesn't happen, but Kenny, it certainly is possible. If you lose tonight, I'm betting everything on Boston in Game 7. Put it that way.
Okay. This is Caleb Hamstra.
Ducks fan from Manitoba, Canada here. Pumped
Caleb?
about first round series here. I thought we were winning in 7, not complaining about the 6 games. Dostal kind of scaring me, to be honest with you. A little shaky. But hot take for you boys. Ducks going all the way to the conference finals, losing to the Avs in 6.
Ducks going all the way to the conference final, losing to the Avs in 6. Caleb, I don't even think that's a hot take anymore.
Yeah,
I think
we were talking about that.
that's the standard take at this point. Whether it's Vegas or Utah who gets out of that series, I don't think that they're going to be able to roll with Anaheim's mojo. I don't really have much to say on that. I don't even think that's a hot take. I agree with you 100%, Caleb. I don't think they'll beat Colorado, but Yeah, I'm right with you.
Okay, here. Hold on. I haven't even listened to this one, but this is.
Sorry, shitty answer for that one, but I just agree with everything you said.
This is Derek Watson. Haven't listened to this one.
Okay. Derek?
Wait, hold on.
Yo, you guys are goated. I love the way you guys talk about hockey, and I was one of your first followers. Go back and look.
Thank you,
I
Derek.
swear to God.
You're a beauty.
Anyways, my question is, do you think the Caps had a fluke season this year by missing the playoffs? And do you think they would have put up a better fight than Pittsburgh's bitch ass, or what? Because they looked awful except for those 2 games that they won.
Fucking right. I like that.
Yeah, you know what? Do I think the Caps missing the playoffs was a fluke? I don't think it was a fluke, but
I actually think I think they could have put up a better
put it this
fight.
because there's some context here.
Tom Wilson would have been fucking making those guys' lives miserable against Philly.
Well, it's 2 different answers, right? Do I think the Caps making the playoffs was a fluke? Or not making the playoffs was a fluke? No, I don't. Because I don't necessarily think the Caps were a playoff team. But I also, after what I saw from Pitt, I don't necessarily think they were a playoff team. So I think it was equally fluky. What I will say is the Caps, in my opinion, have way more upside, ready to rock potential in terms of the young Ryan Leonard, the young Cole Hudson, the young, what's that WHL kid? He's friends with Connor Bedard.
Friends with Bedard?
He's friends with Connor Bedard. He's a later round pick, Kelowna Rockets, and he got traded. Oh, God, what the fuck's his kid name? Crystal, Andrew Crystal. Anyway, I think the Caps are in a nice position where they still got a lot of nice, sick vets with a nice looking crop of prospects coming up, with a nice crop of like guys kind of in the middle where we're not really sure who they're even going to be. You could put Dubois in that category, Protas, McMichael. I'm sure there's some others, but I think the Caps are in a better position overall than Pitt. Do I think they should have made the playoffs? Not really, but
honestly,
I don't necessarily think Pitt should have made it either. So it could have been anybody. Do I think they could have put up a better fight than Pitt? I don't know. That's hard to answer too, because Pitt looked awful for the first 3, but then they looked pretty good. So I don't know. I don't know.
Throw one
That's
thing in
tough.
there. I think Cole Hudson is going to be in the same category. Maybe not next year off the rip, but I think he's going to be like on par with his bro. And I feel like Lane and those guys and the bro, they're going to be in the same category as Makar and Hughes.
Yeah, well,
because
Lane looks fantastic.
I don't know if
I'm
you
not
saw
ready
Cole.
to put. I'm not ready
Did you
to put
see
anybody
any?
on Lane's fucking level right
No,
about
but
now,
Cole, his bro,
besides Quinn,
his little bro.
Yeah, but you
He-
can't you can't compare Cole.
He looked-
All the
he
respect
looked
to Cole,
awesome.
but
He
you
looked
can't
awesome.
compare. And actually, Cole might even be. Actually, I'm sure he's not watching the podcast, but he might follow us on Instagram. But nonetheless, you can't compare Cole. Cole will probably agree with this. You can't compare Cole right now to what Lane is doing in the
I'm
fucking
just saying,
playoffs
Cole
right
looks,
now.
Cole
brother.
looks really good.
That's big
He
brother.
looked really good.
That's
Okay,
his
here.
big brother.
Here, I
I'm
like
sure
this
he'd agree
question.
with me.
This
And that's
guy-
no hate to Cole. Cole's going to be fantastic.
this
but
is,
what Lane's doing right now is incredible.
Murphy Sheehan. I listen to this. This actually sounds kind of cool. I like where he's going with this.
Okay.
I think the Penguins should go all out for Connor McDavid. Like, whoever takes besides Crosby for McDavid to pair him and Crosby up for a huge playoff run that would eventually them to win the cup. I need to see that.
What's his name?
This is Murphy Sheehan.
Murphy, you know what? I think you are speaking everybody's language. I think this is exactly what everybody would want to happen. I don't think Dubas would ever do it.
Do you think though
The
that
package
with his
would be
but with his
way too
contract-
significant.
With his contract though, it might be a scenario where it's like a
There's
Quinn.
no
Hughes-
way this ever happens.
But I'm just
No
saying,
way.
it's a thing like Quinn Hughes.
Look,
they
I
know
would
that
love
he's
it.
not re-signing in
I'm
2
on
years. They
Murphy's
know
team.
he's not re-signing in 2 years.
I'm on
Cooch.
Murphy's team. There's nothing I would love more than for McDavid to get traded to fucking Pittsburgh for a run with Sid. But there's no way it's going to happen. Pittsburgh is in a rebuild right now. That's what they're supposed to be doing. The fact they even made the playoffs is lucky. There's no way that they're going to... Who are they going to give up? Fucking McGroarty and fucking Kindle? Like all your future
true,
assets?
true.
You can't do that.
But
You
how
need those
electric would
guys.
that be for like next year? Easy run with that president.
Both
of the
teams
Mets.
wouldn't do that. Edmonton doesn't want to reset like that, and Pitt doesn't want to give up their McGrorys and their Kindles and all their young studs.
True.
That's the future of that team.
True.
At that point, you're not rebuilding. You're doing something else. You're playing NHL GM mode.
Okay.
Is what you're doing.
Okay, here. This is Danny Jolly.
Danny.
So, would you boys rather have the Avs big three, Nathan McKinnon, Kale McCarr, and Marty Nietzsche, or the Wild's big three, and Quinn Hughes, Kaprizov, and Matt Boldy?
Great question.
And how do you see them matching up together in this next series? And who do you think's winning? And where do you think each team's got advantages and disadvantages that the other team can exploit?
Fucking great question. God damn, Danny. Danny's on the ball.
Yeah, Danny is on the ball.
Okay, well, in terms of who I'd rather have, big three versus the other big three, I would my snap call would have to be with Colorado. But in terms of the other questions that you just asked, I actually think that Minnesota might have the edge deeper down the lineup. I think that when the series gets deep and it's going to be as tight as it is, the Nick and Marcus Foligno brothers become a much more bigger deal. The Yakov Trenins become a huge deal. The Ryan Hartmans become a huge deal. Like, I don't see those names in Colorado lower down the lineup as much as I do in Minnesota. And maybe that's just recency bias and a little biased of, how much I like what Billy G has done this year. But I don't know, man. Minnesota, I think top to bottom, if you really had to rank lines 1, 2, 3, 4, Minnesota versus theirs, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think Minnesota would win based off of averages. But there's absolutely no doubt that the Avs top 6 laps Minnesota's top 6. Especially with the fact that you just picked up Kadri. So you got Kadri second line center. You got McKinnon, Natchez, and I think Lehkonen. And then you got Kadri with, and I'm just guessing here, Landeskog and maybe Nelson. And if Nelson isn't there, he's playing third line.
Yeah, that series is
But
just
put it this way, I would give the edge bottom 6 to Minnesota, which matters a lot in a series like this, and I'd give the top 6 to Colorado. And I don't know, if it's high flying and that's the way the series is going to go, maybe the edge goes to Colorado. But if it's not quite like that and it's a little more grindy and a little more tight, which I'm suspecting it will be, then Minnesota might have it. But anybody's fucking retarded to bet on that one. That is a roulette spin, red or black, like I've never seen. There's no edge in sight to me.
Okay, we're gonna get to the final.
Great question, Danny.
Final couple questions. This one's from our boy Jake Lanning. Gonna get Jake's question in here.
What made you guys start up the account? And did you guys all know each other before you made the account?
Great question, Jake. I was hungover as fuck, and it was
during the Canucks.
You guys can
series.
probably go back and look at the very first video on the account. It was
during the Canucks playoff run, 2020.
It was during that, but that wasn't actually the video that I covered. It was. Do you remember when Matthew Tkachuk and Pasternak fought in round 2?
Yeah.
So I just made a little video. I thought it would be funny for no reason. I don't even know why.
Well, here, Cooge has kind of been doing faceless content creation for the last probably 4 or 5 years, I would say, right? That's safe to say. And then
on the side,
Cooge just, we were watching playoff hockey and I was editing videos for his other company at the time. And then Cooge came over this one day and he goes, "Yo, Lars, check out this video I made. It actually is doing kind of well.
Views.
It's getting views for a new account." This is years ago, when you actually had to really work to get in the algo. And Cooge goes, "Check this out." And he goes, "You and I, we're gonna make this the best hockey page in the whole world or something." And he shows me the name of the account and he goes, "It's called The Fucking Show." And me being who I am, I was like, "Hey dude, that's really cool. But if we want to be the best hockey account in the world, how the fuck are we gonna make money off an account that has a a swear
he didn't
word
like
in
the name. What do you guys think of that? He wanted to change it.
Fast forward,
It worked out.
we're here now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
fucking
it's been
rights.
fun, Jake. But to answer the question, like in summary,
We've known each other for about now how many years? Over
to answer that,
probably
part
like
of
almost
it,
15 years we've known each other.
Yeah, a long time,
Almost.
long time. But I was just gonna say, like, it wasn't. There was no real plan, really. It just, I made a video one day because I thought it was funny, and I was already kind of making videos about stuff that I didn't really like, and this is what I really like because this is how I grew up, and then it just became its own thing.
Fucking rights. This is another one from another follower, Filippo Ruffalo.
I got a hot take. I think the Sabres this year are team of destiny, and they're going to win and beat Montreal in the conference final. And the West is going to be Minnesota and Anaheim in the conference final. And Minnesota's going to make it.
I don't think that's crazy. So he's saying Minnesota Montreal final?
Yeah.
Minnesota Montreal?
I personally think, fuck. Because, I saw this thing. So apparently the reason, you know how we were kind of flabbergasted with the whole fucking Pittsburgh Penguins jersey choice? And you said it was like illegal in NHL terminology?
Yeah. Anybody else confused about
Hold on,
that?
hold on.
Why the
So-
fuck were they wearing those jerseys?
Shout out Jimmy Hockey. I saw a Jimmy Hockey video.
Did he address it?
He addressed it. Apparently, the rule is that you're allowed to make a choice, but you have to lock in your jersey choice at the start of the series,
sense.
and you have to stick with it.
Yeah, that makes
so they couldn't go back on it and choose a black jersey.
Selection. That's probably their worst jersey they have, in my opinion.
Hear me out.
I hate it.
How fucking unreal would this be? Because my personal choice for the Stanley Cup final matchup now is going to be Montreal and Colorado. How fucking electric would it be if those two teams pick their alternate jerseys, or not even alternate? Montreal just keeps their original.
Wait, so you can reset at the start of a series?
Every series. Imagine if fucking Colorado wears their Quebec Nordiques jerseys, and it's Nordiques jersey matchup versus fucking Montreal
that would be
matchup.
really cool.
That to me would be fucking really cool.
That would be fucking really
Wouldn't that be really cool?
Yeah. Wow.
That'd be really cool.
But Montreal never does that.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, technically Montreal's jerseys are like Montreal's jerseys. So all they would have to, the only person would have to make that.
No, sorry.
Colorado
would have to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's their third jersey this year. Is a unique jersey.
That'd be cool, man.
Cool. That'd be cool.
Damn, that'd be cool.
Yo, clip that shit.
No, that'd be so cool. That'd be fucking
Okay,
incredible.
this is the last question. This is from our main inbox. This is a long question. It's a minute 25-second question.
It's fine.
We're gonna answer this question, and then we're gonna call it a fucking an epi.
Well, keep trying to get through as many of these as we can.
Take is that Jared Bednar is criminally underrated and is being overlooked for the Jack Adams entirely because of the star power on the Colorado Avalanche. The fact of the matter, he took the Avs from the dark days of the 2016-2017 season when they were complete ass, had one of the worst regular season records in NHL history, getting I think it was 48 points in a season with, almost 50 losses. He managed to take that team, develop the talent that was there. Gabe Landeskog, Matt Duchene at that time, and Nate McKinnon managed to help, or Joe Sakic managed to draft Cale Makar as well. And then, with the help of Jared Bednar, he basically he built them into the stars that they are today. And the fact that doesn't, the fact that he hasn't gotten a single Jack Adams during that entire time, despite taking them from the literal brink to being a multi-time Stanley Cup contender for the past 6 to 8 years, it's insane that he hasn't gotten a Jack Adams. He deserves it just as much as any of the other nominees. That is my take.
Phenomenal point. Phenomenal point.
Thomas Nesvecki.
Phenomenal point, Thomas. And I've actually been thinking about this for a while the Jack Adams really is just, it's the Hart Trophy for coaches, right? So it's just 1 year. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just 1 year.
Yeah.
It's just 1 year.
Hart Trophy.
I wish that there was another trophy that almost was like, oh no, and even when I say this, it's kind of a shitty idea because it's kind of what the Stanley Cup is. But it'd be kind of sick if there was a trophy where it's just like, basically encapsulates everything that he just said. The whole body of work that coaches do sometimes goes overlooked because the Jack Adams typically goes to whatever coach just sparks the hottest season out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And what he's referencing is this guy's been putting in work for a decade, and it's just been it's been a slow build up. He's been doing a great job, but because there was never that, you know, that season of crazy sexiness, which really would be this year, that's what gets you the Jack Adams. So what I was gonna say was it'd be kind of cool if there was like a heavyweight title belt for just best coach, like in general, as far as body of work goes. But now that I think about it, that'd be kind of hard to. I mean, how would you even select that? But you know what? I think that's just kind of the way things go. Sometimes it is what it is. People know Bednar's a good coach. He won't win the Jack Adams because, like you said, his stars overpower it. But, you know, real hockey fans understand that Colorado isn't where they are without, you know, a staple leader. Like all great things, you need a great leader.
Yeah.
Great question, though.
For sure.
Great take.
Cool, yeah.
Let's keep going. Let's try to get as many.
That's it.
That's all
kind of it, yeah.
There's no way that's all of them.
That's, like, I'm not going to do some of the ones that are, like, repeat questions. Like,
I just want to try to get, because a lot of people put in questions, but not a lot of people want to actually go on audio. So all the people that wanted to go on audio, I want to try to get them in.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So this is the last one that I can think of that's not a same repeat question.
Okay.
And it's, here we go. This is Gavin Coscarella.
Okay, this will be the last one then, Gavin.
Montreal top line's gonna figure it the fuck out. Habs in 6. Let's fucking go.
Well, I'm hoping so, Gavin, because I think that's what we're going to bet on tonight. My question is, has Josh Anderson and Caulfield and Suzuki been together this whole series? Because it doesn't feel like they have.
I don't
If
know.
anything, it maybe since the last game when Galley came in. But I was saying earlier, I don't know if this was answering a question or not, but Montreal's top 4 lines right now, their top 12, is the sexiest top 12 in the league, bar none. Doesn't matter what team it is. Even Colorado, they do not have a fourth line as good as what Montreal's fourth line is slated as right now, which is Doc, Texier, and Bolduc. That's their 4. I'm pretty sure line 3 is Gallagher, Deneau. Fuck. I'm losing who it is on left wing. And then the top 6 all consists of, or it was Newhook on the third line. And then the top 6 consists of Anderson, Suzuki, Caulfield, line 2, Slavkovsky, Demidov. Who the fuck else is on that line?
Okay. I got one more.
Canadians fans will be killing me. But regardless, there's no top 12 that compares to Montreal right now. It's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, I got one more. This is the last one. Last one.
Okay.
What's fucking going on, boys? I got back from the Oilers watch party last night, and as my first experience, what I must say is what kind of a fucking game was that, bud? Draisaitl fucking dried up with no goals. McDavid disappeared for a while, and Ingram, all he could do was fucking save some grade A scoring chances with a $9 million pylon shooting on his own fucking net, bud. Bouchard didn't give us any bombs. The only bombs he was dropping was our fucking own goal. And the whole goddamn time, Lucas Dostal is looking like a prime Carey Price. Couldn't get good enough shots on net. Couldn't lock it down in the third period. And fuck's sakes, boys, could we keep a lead for one goddamn season? I think this offseason, Nobber needs to get his head out of his ass, trade this fucking pylon, maybe bring back Skinner, because he did more than any of these goaltenders did for us in the past fucking 5 years, boys.
That's true.
So, yeah, that's my take. I hope you have a good day. And,
What's his name?
them fucking Avalanche, eh?
What's his name?
This is Antonio.
Antonio?
Hold on, there's 13 more seconds. Hold on.
Okay.
And just one more thing, bud. What happened to the Oilers? The Oilers aren't first-round exit chumps, man. Because I don't think that held up for any of that game.
No. You know what, Antonio? That held up like milk in the fucking oven. That was not pretty. I think what happened, and what I don't want this to be true, but what I'm leaning towards this probably is it might be the beginning of the end. Like Lars and I talked about earlier. You think they're not going to make playoffs next year? If they weren't going to make playoffs, it would definitely be a situation like this that, precedes that. It's not looking pretty. I mean, I don't know. Like, you're talking to a guy who put $500 on the Oilers to win last night, strictly out of respect and expectation that they aren't first-round chumps and that they should have the ability to lock in and start taking things seriously against a team that's never been to the fucking playoffs before. And, when they come out like that, like, not even saying they came out flat doesn't do it justice, because they came out like it was a preseason game. Like, they had no sense of it's time to go whatsoever. The only sense throughout that whole game of it's time to go came from Anaheim. And so what that means for the Oilers' future, if you're an Oilers fan, I don't know, but it's definitely not pretty. And Lars's prediction next year of them not making playoffs might be right. I still believe in McDavid. What I don't believe in is anybody who's been managing that team for the last decade. You need a sensei in there. The most important thing the Oilers can do from here to wherever we go is get somebody in there who's willing to try some new things. You need a creative. You need somebody who's not by the book. You got to try something. You got nothing to lose here. So fuck what you think is supposed to work and who you think is a professional and who's done it before. You got to throw all that out, because this is an unprecedented situation. And if you don't capitalize quick, you're going to lose one of the best players to ever play. And that's it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try and... Do you want to try and get this one out by tomorrow? Like tomorrow sometime?
Try to post it like today.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to work on this. Thanks for sending in your guys' questions. That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
We'll try doing that more often. Who knows? Maybe if there's some guys with some really fucking sick takes, we get these guys on a guest appearance on like a little Zoom call
easily,
or some shit. Easily.
We can be a show where all of our guests all come through this domain.
Sure.
From the TFS fam.
We'll see. Big night tonight for the TFS boys. We got our own Game 7 on the books tonight. We've been cold the last 24 hours, so we're gonna put our backs up against the wall. Hopefully you get some wins tonight.
Sorry, we'll heat up. I think we're gonna go Montreal, Vegas, Buffalo parlay.
Yeah, I think we should do that, and then we should just do.
You like that?
No, I'm not doing all that on a parlay. The whole bankroll, but I think we should
like
sprinkle.
those, though?
I think we should sprinkle that, and then I think we should hit like a.
So you like those picks?
Yeah, I like those picks. So yeah, we got our own Game 7 tonight.
Hopefully it works. By the time this airs, you guys will know if it hit or not.
Yeah. So yeah, all right,
folks. This was fun. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.